She's the Spanish Spitfire who seduced America with her voluptuous figure, outrageous fashions, and infectious cuchi-cuchi charm. Across 5 decades in the spotlight, Charo generated headlines for her marriages, music, and TV appearances. But the loss of longtime husband Kjell Rasten in 2019 devastated the performer. Now she's opening up about the suicidal death of the man she calls the love of her life. Early life and rise to fame. Born in Spain in 1951, the woman known worldwide as Charo had immense performing talents and charisma from a young age. Back then, she was known as Maria. She showed a natural flair for singing and dancing, winning talent contests and local acclaim. Her early life had its challenges. Her father died when she was just 10, leaving her mother to raise Charo and her younger sister alone. Though times were difficult financially, Charo's mother nurtured her daughter's talents, bringing her to Madrid for casting calls and auditions from age 16. At one such audition, renowned bandleader Javier Cugat first spotted Charo's potential, instantly smitten with the lively, voluptuous teenager. Though Cugat was over 40 years her senior, he became Charo's first husband in 1966 when she was 15. While controversial even then, the marriage provided connections and opportunities for the ambitious performer. After emigrating with him to America in the late 60s, Charo broke out as a solo artist after their divorce in 1978. She captured the spirit of 1970s American pop culture with her infectious energy, curvaceous figure, and a talent for comedy. She became one of the era's quintessential personalities, instantly recognizable by her distinctive look, big blonde hair, skimpy glittering outfits showing ample cleavage and midriff, and an ever-present guitar used as a sexy prop. She capitalized on her persona with TV appearances on Laugh-In, The Love Boat, and countless talk and variety shows. While her command of English was limited in her early career, the exaggeration of her Spanish accent became a trademark, especially her playfully rolling double R's when introducing herself. By playing up her otherness and positioning herself as a lovable foreign stereotype, Charo won over Middle America. Behind the caricature was genuine musical skill, however. She learned guitar early on and studied classical style in Spain. She became known for a high-energy form of flamenco-influenced easy listening, releasing a series of popular albums like Cuchi-Cuchi and Ole Ole, showcasing her Latin-inflected guitar chops. Charo's skill with the guitar and her comedic timing even earned her a chance to show a more serious side in a dramatic role in Stanley Donen's 1978 film Foul Play with Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn. She held her own alongside the comedy stars and even performed the film's theme song. By the late 70s, the name Charo was famous around the globe, but there was a yearning for stability and family behind the fun-loving image. Whirlwind romance with Kjell. Charo first laid eyes on handsome businessman Kjell Rasten at a Hollywood awards show after-party in 1977. Fresh off her high-profile divorce, Charo was in no hurry to dive into another relationship. But one look at the tall, blonde Swede across the room, and she felt an instant attraction. As Charo tells it, she strode right up to Rasten and boldly declared, "You're hot." Never one to shy away from expressing her desires, a night of passion ensued between the two. But her lifestyle was immersed in touring and performing at the time, not settling down. So after their intense initial tryst, they went their separate ways. But fate brought them together a year later. While filling her gas tank in LA, Rasten pulled up to the same station. Charo didn't immediately recognize him. The mustache and glasses were new. When he reintroduced himself, she played along like she remembered their prior evening while trying to place him. Sparks flew once more, and this time after Rasten asked her to dinner, Charo felt the desire to give a relationship a real chance. The unlikely couple soon became inseparable. Rasten took on managing Charo's career, accompanying her on tour and supporting her demanding schedule. Less than a year after that gas station meet-cute, the two married in an intimate August 1978 ceremony in Lake Tahoe, Nevada. Close friend and fan-favorite entertainer Morris the Cat served as ring-bearer, while Charo's sister Carmen was maid of honor. They purchased a sprawling home in Beverly Hills, designed by 1930s architect Wallace Neff. Charo took a break from touring in the early 80s after getting pregnant with her son, Shell, who was born in 1981. Motherhood agreed with her. She doted on the boy while cherishing time at last to decorate her home and entertain. With Rasten's keen business sense guiding her career, Charo's popularity surged once more in the mid-80s with her show-stopping appearances on hit TV shows like Dynasty. Rasten also executive produced several of Charo's Spanish-language musical albums and oversaw lucrative licensing deals for his wife's name and likeness. Behind closed doors, they were devoted partners. Their nearly 40-year marriage, one of the longest and most stable in showbiz. For his part, Rasten never tried to tame Charo or dampen her vivacious public image. He loved her as she was, outlandish outfits, big hair, loud laughter, and all. So Rasten's sudden death in their home in early 2019 understandably shook Charo to her core. Rasten's declining health and eventual suicide. In the final years of his life, Kjell Rasten struggled privately with a painful autoimmune skin disorder called bullous pemphigoid. The condition causes severe blistering and open sores on the skin that refuse to heal. In Rasten's case, the blisters covered 60% of his body by early 2019. The disease left the once active and vigorous Rasten homebound and depressed about his appearance and inability to manage Charo's career interests as he once did. Always fastidious about grooming, Rasten now required assistance just to bathe and dress as moving became excruciating. Charo took over his business responsibilities while also tending to her ailing husband. The toll on them both, physical, emotional, and mental, mounted over months of doctor visits and ineffective treatments. Their son Kjell and her sister Carmen provided care when Charo fulfilled professional engagements, but round-the-clock nursing wore Charo down. She later confessed that if she had known suicide was on Rasten's mind, she never would have left him alone even for a moment. So when she returned home from a brief album promotion trip in early 2019 to find Rasten unresponsive, she felt gutted by guilt. She called 911, but it was too late. He had died by suicide while home alone. Though no note was left, it was ruled death by intentional overdose on the medications meant to give Rasten some relief from his skin condition's constant agony. In the depths of shock and the aftermath, Charo found herself for once at a loss of words. Always the entertainer, countering heartache with humor whenever possible, this loss left her shattered and raw. In interviews, a heavy-hearted Charo focused on redirecting admiration to Rasten, the man she called her Viking, for his Scandinavian good looks and stalwart support. She spoke of his profound kindness and the toll years of suffering took on his mental health in the end. She had nothing but love for Rasten, believing he must have reached a point where the physical and emotional pain became unbearable. While Kjell's suicide will forever haunt her, she's publicly stated she now intends to honor his legacy with her own continued zest for living. She speaks often of how Rasten loved her vivacity, so in tribute to him, she vows to never dampen her inner fire until her own curtain closes. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Charo? Let us know in the comments section below.